So we're gonna try something really interesting today. I wanna see if a card can be removed from a deck of cards and be completely isolated on its own from the rest of the cards in a deck. We're gonna do that by putting it into a box and leaving it where you can see it and where I can't get to it. Now what I wanna see is if I use my energy and if I focus hard enough, if I can actually pull the Ace of Hearts from the deck and get it to jump to the top. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. I honestly thought that this was gonna be the Ace of Hearts and that wait a second. If this is the Ace of Hearts, then that must mean, you don't think. What's up everybody, Kier Gomes here, and welcome back. In today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you guys an effect that uses a double-faced playing card, and it can be used as a transpo, it can be used as kind of a cool color change, endless possibilities, and this is just one of my favorites. So, I'm very excited to teach it to you today. Now, the way I'm going to be teaching this effect is the way that you saw in the demo and the way that I do it. However, this is something that can be adapted to be your own style, whether it's live or on camera. It's definitely something that you can play around with and build off of. Before we get started, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's roll that intro and get you guys on your way.
Let's go.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this effect uses a double-faced playing card. So for this example, I will be using the slowhands deck. If you're not familiar, slowhands is my deck. This is our first one. It's printed by the USPCC, designed by Nick Nisco. More details on that at the end of the video. Now the deck also comes with a double facer, so if you have this deck, you're already good to go, but if you don't have a double facer, the best thing to do is grab two cards, put them back to back, and then just put some double stick tape in there and boom, you have a double facer. Now we're going to be doing what we always do with my tutorials, and I'm going to be doing a demonstration first, just kind of showing you how the trick works. Then I'm going to get into the mechanics, the pattern, the sleights, and then I'll go into some closing thoughts and things that you can do to make it your own. So let's get into it. So we're going to try something really interesting today. I want to see if a card can be removed from a deck of cards and be completely isolated on its own from the rest of the cards in a deck. We're going to do that by putting it into a box and leaving it where you can see it and where I can't get to it. Now what I want to see is if I use my energy and if I focus hard enough, if I can actually pull the Ace of Hearts from the deck and get it to jump to the top. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. I honestly thought that this was gonna be the Ace of Hearts and that wait a second. If this is the Ace of Hearts, then that must mean, you don't think. What? Okay, so now that you've seen the effect, like I said, this is something that can be adapted to your own style. So you don't have to perform it the way that I did. You don't have to use the same pattern, the same hand motions, nothing like that. For my more advanced Magic audience, I know that this is definitely something that you can play around with to make your own idea. There's a lot of kind of open-ended possibilities here, so I hope you'll have fun with that. But for those of you that are just learning it, let's get into how this effect works. Okay, so to perform this effect, it doesn't take much of a setup, just a few things that you need to do beforehand, okay? So first you're gonna wanna make sure you go into your deck and take out the double-faced card. And then you want to take out the two cards that match the double facer. So in this case, it's the Ace of Hearts and the Ten of Spades, okay? So first take your double-faced card and you want to put it in the middle of the deck. Now I always do this face up so that way I can remember which side of the card I have face up. You want to just take it and literally put it anywhere in the middle of the deck. If you're going to use this with a spectator and you're going to do a force, you want to make sure you have a break wherever you're going to force. However, for this case, it's not necessary. So we have the double facer in the middle, and I have the Ace of Hearts facing up, right? So the Ace of Hearts is what I'm going to see if I go this way, okay? Now, because I have the Ace of Hearts facing up, then I want to make sure that that is the second card from the top. So I want to take the real Ace of Hearts, put it on the top, and then I want to take the 10 of spades and put that one at the very top. So what it should look like, let's say that we're going to do this effect and we're going to force on the spectator the ace of hearts. So the ace of hearts is face up, and then on the top there's the ace of hearts and then the 10 of spades. And that is the only setup that you need to perform this effect. Now, if you're going to be forcing the card on a spectator, the only thing that you need to know how to do is a riffle force. And what that would look like would be if you want them to choose the double face card, you're holding a break here, you're just going to have them say stop whenever they want. Let's say it's right there, and then you're just going to pick up everything above your break, and then you're going to say, okay, you know, this is going to be your card. Let's take that, take it out of the deck, and then just leave it and don't disturb the order, okay? So now that our setup is done, double facers in the middle, ace of hearts facing up, and then we have the ace of hearts second from the top and the 10 of spades on top. So now we're ready to get into the effect, okay? Now you'll notice that here I have a empty tuck box, okay? Now this is very important. Whether you're doing this for camera or live, you want to make sure the tuck box is always in plain sight as you would with any magic effect. So I just have mine propped up on this little essential oil diffuser, and that leaves it there. The other thing to notice is that I have it already open, and I have it with the front of the tuck facing the sky, okay? Now that's going to be good for a visual convincer that we're going to use later in this trick. So if your spectator subconsciously takes note, which they will, they'll notice subconsciously the box is already open and that the front of it is facing upwards, okay? Doesn't mean anything to them yet, and probably never will. This is something that should never be drawn attention to. It's just there as a visual reminder to the spectator. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through, and you can force the card, like I said, you can do a riffle force to have the spectator pick a card, or if you're just doing this for camera, whatever. But you want to go through and you want to find your ace of hearts, okay? Now doing this, you want to make sure that you don't flash. It's easier, like if you force it on a spectator, you can just do that and then there's no flash, but if you're taking it out, you want to be very, very careful. So you go through, you find the double facer, and you out jog it. And then you just angle the cards down, almost like a wrist kill, but the other way. So you go this way. You just take the ace of hearts out, and now you have the double facer in your hand. The rest of the deck is clean and can be taken out of sight. So I'll set it down. You just want to keep this end facing the spectator, and then you go to pick up the box. Now this is the important part. The setup for the trick is easy. Getting the ace of hearts out is easy. Putting it into the box takes a little bit more attention, okay? So what you're gonna do, if you're doing this for a spectator, this is very important, is you're gonna say, okay, we have the ace of hearts. I'm gonna go ahead and isolate the ace of hearts from the rest of the cards in the deck. You're gonna take the tuck box. Don't draw any attention to the fact that it's open. Don't draw any attention to the color. Don't draw any attention to the box itself. Just grab it and say, okay, I'm gonna put the ace of hearts inside the box, and you can see there is nothing else in there. And they go, yeah, there's nothing else in there. Then you just turn over the box and you put the ace of hearts inside. You can again show them, look, it is the only card in the box. Then you close it, and then all you do is you go to put it back, you just turn it over. So now the 10 of spades is the end that the spectator will see. So you put it in, right? You show them, see it's empty, not drawing any attention to yourself. Maybe gesture to go pick the cards back up, or say something, but just turn the deck over in your hand and set it exactly the way that it was before, minus the fact that it is now closed, okay? So this is good because the spectator has seen this throughout the entire effect. So to them, nothing that has gone into that box is suspicious. They're still waiting for you to do some sleight of hand. So they don't know what's gonna happen yet. So you say, okay, I'm gonna isolate it, and now the sleight of hand is pretty much done. You just have to dress up the rest of the trick, do one color change, and you're good to go. So just to recap, we went and stripped our force card, the double facer, out of the deck. We took it out, we showed it, we put it in a box, we left it there. Now you can also put like a hair tie, if your spectator has a hair tie, put a hair tie around the box too, or have them put their hands around it, hand it to them. So that way, again, it just suspends the idea that there's any possible sleight of hand that could have happened. So now what you're gonna do, the card is in the box, safe and sound, and they think that the ace of hearts is in there. Now all you need to do is go, okay, so this is gonna be really interesting. I wanna see if I can actually steal out the ace of hearts from the box. And I do this in the performance, I do it when I perform live. I'll pinch it and I'll hold it and I'll go, I want to see if I can steal the ace of hearts out of the box and put it into the deck. Let's see if we were able to do that. Confidently, you're gonna turn it over, and then you're gonna chuckle a little bit because the 10 of spades is not the selection. They selected the ace of hearts. So you wanna act like this is a goof, right? You wanna go, well, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Can't really get it to work. While you're fidgeting and while you're kind of using that patter as misdirection, all you wanna do is come over and grab a pinky break under the ace of hearts, okay? So you're gonna go, maybe if I let's try one more time. Maybe if I blow on it and it's not working, right? Then you get your break, you just set the card on top and go, okay, let me try one more thing. Let me just see if I can, and then you're gonna do your color change, okay? Now you guys can do whatever you want. You can do the shapeshifter, which looks like that. You can do the wave change or shake change, whatever that's called. You can do whatever. I like to use this instant replay variation. This was taught by Pig Cake. I just think it's very visual and it's kind of like a, whoa, what the hell just happened, right? So you're like, yeah, I can't really see if the ink changes, and then it does. So one more time, just to recap. So you take the ace of hearts, right? And you say, I wanna see if I can just get it to jump back into the pack. Let's see. Oh. That's really embarrassing. I really thought it would be the ace of hearts. Maybe there's just, you know, I really thought that the ink was gonna change, right? And then you've kind of created this moment where they're like, wait, what? They're gonna see now that the ace of hearts, the real ace of hearts, which can be inspected, is here. And then you wanna go, okay, so I was able to steal it, but then where did the 10 of spades go? Now this works really well if the card is already in the spectator's hands. If you can have them holding the box when it happens, even better, right? So you wanna go, I guess maybe it could have, and then you wanna have the spectator hand you the box. You wanna make sure that you open it, because if they open it, they're gonna do it like this, and they're gonna see the ace of hearts, right? So you wanna be the one that opens it, but you can maybe have them open their hand. You just take it out quickly and go, do you hear that? Do you hear something? Open the box with the front facing the sky, and then you can pull out the 10 of spades. Now at this point, you cannot hand this out for inspection, so what I would recommend would be use the rest of the cards, right? Turn the whole deck over so that they're all face up. Just put it on the top there and go. So if the 10 of spades is here, and the ace of hearts came here, I guess it's a miracle. And you can just kind of clean it up that way where you have your double facer on the bottom. There's nothing suspicious. You can spread the deck that way, you can spread the deck that way, and then you can always just kind of cop and get rid of that double facer into your pocket. You can do whatever you want from there. Okay, so let's go through that one more time at speed, okay? And I'm gonna kind of narrate this as I'm doing it. So we have our box already open, facing the sky, front facing the sky, okay? And that's gotta be in plain sight the whole time. So now we can go ahead and get going. So if you're doing this for a spectator, you can do like the riffle force, you can do a classic force to get them to take it. But for this example, let's just say that we go through, we find it, we say, okay, we're gonna take the ace of hearts. So now we're gonna take the ace of hearts, we're gonna say, okay, the goal is to isolate this card. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in here. You can see it's the only card in the box, okay? And I'm just gonna set it there, and that's all. I don't wanna touch it. I wanna make sure I can't get to it, I can't even see it, okay? Once the spectator is holding it, or once it's out of sight, you go, okay, now without touching the box or the card, I wanna see if I can just grab it and make it jump to the top of the deck. Oh, this is a little bit embarrassing. Now you want to act like you're embarrassed, right? You want to say, okay, I really thought that the ink was going to change on the card. Maybe if I keep rubbing it, nothing, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Wait a minute. So I guess I have the ace of hearts, which must mean that the 10 of spades is. So then you'll have the spectator open their hand, right? You'll take the box out of their hand, give it a shake and go, there's definitely a card in there. I wonder if it's the 10 of spades. They'll go crazy, right? Use that as your opportunity to then put the card back on the bottom and go, so the 10 of spades went into the box, the ace of hearts came to the top of the deck. I guess it's real magic. I always say that. And then you can do, again, to clean this up, you can just get the card into a cop like that and then go, right, and then you're done. Okay, so when it comes to performing this, it's really up to you how you want to do it. I like to do it as a transposition, so I show the ace of hearts, I put it in the box, it changes into something else comes out of the box. But you can also do it like if you're just doing this for camera, for Instagram, or whatever, you can just kind of take a card, you don't have to force it, do anything like that. You can show an empty box, put the card in there, and then you can do like a shake or whatever you want, and then you can show that the card has changed. So there's definitely little things that you can break apart and use to make it your own. But when you put them all together, I really like the idea of a transposition, of kind of saying like, I'm gonna isolate this deck of cards, have it in the spectator's hand, they open their hand, they're super impressed. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun making it. If you guys don't have the slow hands deck yet, or you do and you want some more, I've already put a link down in the description where you can pick them up. Your best bet would be get them directly from elementalplayingcards.com. Every deck you buy will go into helping support the channel, helping support future decks and future projects. And if you guys are feeling lucky, we just launched a giveaway for a deck of slow hands playing cards, as well as a rare slow hands V1 uncut sheet over at the Gentleman Wake channel. If you guys haven't seen that, I will make sure that link is in the description. You can go there and enter, maybe you win. And if not, you can always go pick them up at the website. As always guys, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It does help me out quite a bit, and I hope you'll consider subscribing for more awesome videos just like this. With all that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. I know I will. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Let's go.